hell yeah.
What's up, dude? How you doing?
I'm doing good. How are you?
I'm good, man. I'm just heading to the airport in LA to go back to Vegas. So.
Oh, that's where you've been residing for a while?
Yeah, I live in Las Vegas now for the last 5 years, and LA prior to that.
It says that you were born in Canada. Is that right?
Well, yeah, I was born in Montreal a long time ago, and my parents are American. My grandparents are American. They're from California, but my parents were traveling, and so when I was born. So I was born in Montreal. They were living there briefly, and then they moved back to Northern California when I was 9 months old. So I don't have any memories of Canada, but I do have like a dual citizenship. I can have 2 passports.
And how has that been helpful to you in traveling?
Well, it's if you've been in a band on tour and you know, like going in a tour bus across from America across the Canadian border, it's not the easiest border to go across. Like, in fact, it can be quite difficult, believe it or not. So, but for me, my passport, I have a U.S. passport, but it says Canada on my birthplace. So when they see me there, they're like, "Oh, hey, welcome home, mate." And I walk right through. While the rest of my band is sitting on the bus getting like strip searched and like the whole thing, getting their bags torn apart and interrogated, and maybe one of them getting sent back because he had a DUI in America like 7 years ago. And they're like, "That doesn't fly here in Canada, eh?" Like it's a really difficult border to go through. I don't know if you've ever experienced it, but that's one of the benefits. Other than that, I like Canada. I've been back many times, like to where I was born in Montreal, and then we played in like Toronto and BC, Vancouver, and then I've been a couple times in like Manitoba, and yeah, that's it. It's always been a good place to visit for tour, and great crowds and cool vibes.
And because you were born there, I imagine that people from there attach you to that country.
Well, people that know that, they're like, "Oh, that's cool." I don't know. It's not a lot of people know it because I'm American as well, and I've spent my whole life here except for the first 9 months. But yeah, it's like there's a thing, I guess, connection.
How soon can we expect some Once Human branded hot sauce, beer, or whiskey?
Don't hold your breath for that. Yeah, I don't know. I'm not. I haven't been thinking about those types of products. I do work in the cannabis industry, and I work with Shabo from System of a Down on his new. Well, it's not that new. It's been around for 3 years, but he's got a cannabis brand called 22 Red. And I started working for him recently, which is pretty awesome. I love the brand. I love Shabo, and the whole cannabis space is pretty cool.
Yeah, I work with a band in the Bay Area called Blind Illusion, and they have a strain of weed coming out with their new album. It only makes sense that at some point there'll be more weed, marijuana tie-ins with music, right?
Well, the overlap between music industry and cannabis industry is really apparent, and it's almost, like all my cannabis relationships which are pretty extensive. They come from music industry beginnings, and kind of vice versa. It's a creative space, it's like it's not that different. It's just, it's a pretty cool industry with a lot of growth potential, and it's so new. It's like, it's really exciting to be a part of it. But Blind Illusion, that's amazing. I remember seeing that band at the Omni in 1986, I want to say. I was 16, 1986, and they were opening up for, I think it was Death Angel. And Les Claypool was the bass player for Blind Illusion. Les Claypool, who went on to be the founder of Primus, was the bass player. Did you know he was in that band?
I did.
Yeah.
And also Larry Lalonde, that is in Primus, used to be in Possessed.
Yeah, correct. Yep. Bay Area Thrashers.
I think there's a lot of people that have been in that band over the time.
In Blind Illusion?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, if you've been around long... What's that?
They're still going? They're still going?
They are. Actually, it's funny. their new drummer used to be in Death Angel. He was the original drummer for Death Angel, and they also Andy Gallion, yeah.
Yeah, cool.
He's a monster.
Yeah, he's amazing.
And their guitar player used to be in Heathen.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, it's cool to see the old guys getting it together and jamming out some progressive metal.
Hell yeah.
What can you say about Scar Weaver as your latest full length?
Yeah, Scar Weaver just came out. We're on our 7th day, so the first week is coming to an end, and it's been a great first week. It's been a long time to get to this point. We've been dropping singles since July last year. We put 5 videos out in support of this album, and so it feels good that it's finally out now, and we've had a good first week. Yeah, the latest video for the title track, Scar Weaver, just dropped. And a month ago, we put out the one, Erasure, which is doing really well. Yeah, we worked on this record for a while, and it feels good to finally bring it out because it's been a while since our last record.
At this point, what continues to drive forward as a guitarist in a band and keep going?
Well, I'm the guitar player, I'm the producer and the mixer, and the tour manager, and I wear a lot of hats in once human. Yeah, I do it because I love it, and I don't know. I have a lot of jobs. I have a lot of kids and a lot of jobs, and music. Most of it is music, and some of it is cannabis, and I love it all. I never stop. I'm constantly on the go, and I'm lucky to be so busy. And I got to a point where I focus on the process, not so much on the top of the mountain, because just what am I doing right now? What can I do today? And just enjoy it and be in the moment. That's how I roll.
Nice. Is there a theme to the new album, or is it more of a collection of songs?
Yeah, it's a collection of songs. Musically, par for the course. Sounds very once human, but at the same time, there's moments where some riffs just get super ugly, disgusting, almost like wrong, but they're so heavy and brutal. We pushed it in that direction for the moments that call for it, and then on the other end of the spectrum, which has been expanded as well, is the melodic, dynamic, epic vibes go there. And then honestly, like, Lauren's vocals really improved a lot between this album and the last one. She's had a lot of experience in clean singing, and then has developed new voices, like her half dirty, half clean, melodic, powerful voice that we have never heard from her before. And her growls are just as brutal as ever. So yeah, it's really nice to see her shine in so many ways on this album.
How do you decide when a song is finished, and how difficult is tracking?
I'll sign up on a song easier than anyone else at this point. Lauren, she writes all her own top lines, and she's writing all her lyrics and her melodies, and it's a process, So there was a lot of attempts, and then rewriting and several different times rewriting to just get it right, because she's a perfectionist. And then we had this pandemic, so there was extra time for us. The goalpost kept moving, and our deadline was pushed, so we had more time than we normally would to finish this album, and so we used it. And I'm glad we did. At the end, it was more time consuming, it was more exhausting, and sometimes frustrating, but end result as good as it could possibly be, because we didn't just settle ever.
You were in Machine Head for almost a decade and played with about 5 different drummers in that time. Is that right?
Well, there was Chris Contos, Dave McLean, and then a brief period that was, when I was in Machine Head, that would be 4. There was another tour with Will Ferrell, who's he's in Death Angel now. He did a tour with us. So there was 4 different drummers while I was in Machine Head. But yeah.
Did you play with Tony Costanza?
Oh shit! Sorry, 5. You know more. You know your Machine Head better than I do. Yeah, Tony Gabbana was the original drummer for Machine Head. Yeah, well, he passed away not too long ago.
That's correct, and he's also a Vegas native.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, he's a great guy.
And did you play with Rob Rampey as well?
I don't know.
There's so many, right?
Yeah, I don't know.
So far. Yeah. That must have been a trip. It must have been a trip to be called by Rob for the anniversary tour. Is that something that you sort of expected?
I willed it to be. No, I hit him up in 2018. I was like, hey, I texted him and I was like, Burn My Eyes is going to turn 25 the next year. What do you think about doing this? And he was quite hesitant to it. He didn't think it would be realistic because he was in the middle of Catharsis tour with Machine Head. And then when that was winding down, but abruptly and unexpectedly, Phil and Dave left Machine Head in November 2018 for whatever reasons. And then, then when that happened, I brought him back. I wrote him like basically the same day. I read it on Blabbermouth and I was like, whoa, that's interesting timing and unfortunate, but hey, look on the bright side. Now you can do this Burn My Eyes thing. I think it was it worked out like that, and I'm really glad that it did because that was an amazing experience to get to go and relive the whole Machine Head thing for those tours with, doing Burn My Eyes, and the fact that it's still relevant, and Machine Head is even bigger now than they were back when I was in the band. It was just an amazing experience. And I think on the other bright side, it was timed well, and, just it was random, but it was timed well that it helped Rob transition away from just losing half of his band and to show the world it doesn't really matter. It's going to go on in another version of it or whatever. It's like it's all really it's about Rob carrying that from the beginning through the end. There's been so many other moving parts in and out of the band over the years. All of them were good, but ultimately, he can carry on, regardless of these changes that happen throughout the way. So doing the Burn My Eyes thing was like a nice for him to take a step away from the regular grind of Machine Head and just go have fun doing Burn My Eyes as a celebration of this 25-year thing, and then regroup, and now he's back at it with a whole new lineup.
Yeah, and Rob plays on the new record, right?
And Rob did a guest feature on the new Once Human album. Yes, that is correct. The song Deadlock. I hit him up when we were doing that production and thought it was a bit of a long shot if he wanted to do a feature on there because he doesn't normally do that. But he said, yeah, let me hear the song. And he liked the song and he was like, yeah, let's do it. So it turned out great. He collaborated and he was even helping, like he did a bunch of rearrangements for the song. He really got his hands on it. And it turned out great in the end. I really loved the way it ended up.
Was Machine Head always pretty much Rob's band, or was there a shared vision?
Yeah, I mean, for the most part, well, when it first started, I was a founding member, and I was writing a lot of riffs on Burn My Eyes, but ultimately he was, the main creative force from the beginning. And I think that I don't know too much about like other guitar players after me, what their creative input was. I know Adam Deuce wrote some stuff along the way, but I don't know too much. I just know that he's managed to carry on, and he is the majority songwriter throughout the whole thing. So, one thing I learned being a producer is it kind of, not to discredit anyone or anything, it's just, but like when it comes to the success of a band, whether it's metal band or rock band or pop band, any kind of genre, it has everything to do with good singers and good songs. And all the other parts are interchangeable for the most part, And that's not to take away from people like me, guitar players or drummers or bass players. It's just like the face of the band, the voice of the band is normally the core of the band. And so naturally a singer can usually survive and thrive in a changing environments from album to album,
Absolutely. Do you belong to a group of shirtless guitar players? There's you.
I'm the leader of the shirtless guitar players.
There's you and Doyle that come to mind.
Oh yeah, Doyle. I love Doyle. He's amazing.
Tell me something you've never told an interviewer before.
Nope. I like cats.
That's nice. You have cats. You have cats.
Yeah, I got cats. I do. Nice. 3.
Have you always had cats?
Yes, I've always had cats my whole life since I was a kid.
Cats rule.
Yeah. Yeah, I like dogs too. But yeah.
What's it? Oh, yeah, we had a dog and a cat. They both passed away. It's pretty traumatic. They're members of the family.
Yeah. Yeah. I know. I remember I've been through that with my dogs. It's really rough. But...
Well, what's next on the horizon for you? And Once Human, it looks like you have a Mishiak as well. Is that right?
Oh, Mishiak. That's I think there was some misleading posts about that said I joined the band. I didn't exactly join the band, but I'm going to produce their new album and mix it, and I'm going to play guitar on it, and I'm going to co-write on it. But that's my involvement has everything to do with the album, and then beyond that, nothing is decided. I mean, I who knows? Anything is possible. I'm like, I'll do whatever I can, But yeah, I'm looking forward to doing that record with those guys. John Deddy is playing drums on it, and he's awesome. And the singer is someone that I just met recently through John. He's from Australia, and he's moving over here, so we're going to be working on that album in June and July.
Awesome. Well, Logan, thank you so much for your time. And do you have any final thoughts you'd like to share? Any words of wisdom for any aspiring guitar players, musicians, or bodybuilders?
Words of wisdom. Don't ever try anything. Just do everything. And like I just said, and I've been practicing this, is just focus on the process. Do everything you can in the moment. Don't worry too much about the top of the mountain, because you will get there. And I would like to say thank you to all the Once Human fans for all the support. We really appreciate you. And if you want to continue to support us, you can go to oncehumanofficial.com. Check out our merch, and we've got some bundles there, some vinyls left over, some limited stuff. And yeah, check out our videos on YouTube and look for us on tour. We look forward to getting back on the road. And thank you so much.
Metal, 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 gods!